Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Today we are going to be talking about parents as leaders and these strategies for effective leadership. I'm going to start by introducing myself. My name is Eliana Tardillo and I'm the program director for the Parent Education Network. And I love having the opportunity to do this presentation because it is truly important to me. As an immigrant who came to the US 13 years ago, now speaking the language, and as a mother of two children with Down syndrome who are fully included in the community, in my neighborhood school, I really believe that leadership can make the difference. And that's why I'm so pleased and honored to be able to present this workshop to you. I'm going to start by explaining who we are and what we do in the community. The Parent Education Network serves 10 counties in South and Southwest Florida. We are the Parent Training and Information Center. We are family driven. That is one of the most important parts of our job, actually, because all of us, we are parents of children with special needs, or we have special needs, so we really understand how it feels, and we really understand the struggles and many times the fears that you may face when you have a child with special needs. We are under the umbrella of the Family Network on Disabilities. They have been serving the community of families with children with special needs for more than 30 years. And we are a non-for-profit, which means that all the workshops and every service that we provide to the community is completely free. We are funded by the Department of Education. One of the most important things that we do for families is that we want to be sure that families understand the law. In this case, they understand IDEA. We want to be sure that you know the information, that you can make educated decisions, and that's why we provide all kinds of supports and we provide information, but we always remind families that we are not lawyers. So welcome today again. Thank you for joining us today. And these are the things that we are going to be talking about. I'm going to be using my cell phone to follow any comment or any question that you may have. So feel free to write any question that you have on the screen. So today we are going to be talking about the characteristics of good leaders, the characteristics of good followers, keys to motivating people, leadership, and parents, dealing with anxiety. That is one of the things that you may face when you are in front of a lot of people, or in these cases, when you are presenting something to a group of people, and resources available in the community. After this presentation, we want you to learn the characteristics of effective leaders, because one of the things is that leaders are not born, leaders are made, so everyone can be a leader. We want you to learn strategies that will assist participants in building and enhancing leadership skills, because again, leadership is hard work and leadership is passion and is motivation. Let's start by defining what a leader is not. Leadership is not a position, which means it's not something that you get, it's not a title. Anyone can be a leader. And again, talking about my own story, I started as a leader in my community just because I had the commitment to make a difference and to open a door to my community. In my case, my community, they are parents of children with special needs who may be immigrants or who may not speak English as their first language. So my leadership started opening that door to them so they can have equal access to information. It was not a position. I wasn't hired to do that, but I did it because I really wanted to find a group and I really wanted to be part of something that can help me grow along with my children as I was able to help other families. So being a leader is not being the most popular, and many times the leaders are the ones that have the ability to say no. Many times the leaders are the ones who have the ability to disagree, that they understand that they have the right to disagree and they are going to be okay. Being a leader is not being indispensable, because the leader actually wants other people to be leaders too. And in our way to become leaders, we help others to become leaders as well. It's not about blaming others, because we understand as leaders that it's all about working together and finding solutions all together. To be an effective leader, you have to learn to delegate. You have to believe in people, so you have to identify people around you. The path of being a leader is looking around and finding other people who may be living the same situation or a similar situation, and having the ability to attract them to you, to make them realize that they can be leaders too, and to try to always bring the community together to determine which are the needs in our community, and how can we work towards the solutions and the things that we want to see in our community. When as leader we share power, we gain power, and that means that when we gain that influence in the community to make a difference, we have to keep growing the chain. We have to keep inviting more parents to gain that power to communicate, to tell their stories, to be an active part of the change in the community, so the leaders grow along with more and more leaders. Understand the importance of quality followership. So to understand that, to be an effective follower, you must be motivated. And when we talk about being followers, is also because many times we feel that leaders, they are the ones in charge and they are the ones always telling people what to do. But in order to become a leader, you have to also be a follower, because when you are a follower, you can identify new leaders, and you understand that even though you may be an amazing leader, there are many other people who can lead from a different perspective, and they have different abilities that you may not have. So combining this leadership is that you are going to be able to make and to provoke real changes in the community and in the world. To be an effective follower, you have to be motivated. You have to be disciplined, you have to be responsible, you have to be able to accept directives from others, you have to be willing to work independently, and you have to be willing to work with groups too. One of the hardest part of being a leader, many times, at least this is my experience, is to work with other people, because sometimes we feel that we are wasting time, or we have the idea clear and we don't want to discuss and go over the same idea. But I have learned throughout the years that everyone has something important to say. And when we are real leaders, we can listen to other people. And when we learn to listen, we are going to find new answers and we are going to understand new things. That's why it's so important also to be a follower when you are a real leader. Some keys to effective followership. I always remind people, when you want to be a leader, saying yes to everything is not the answer. You have to feel that you have the right to say no, and you have to say no as much as you need to say no. You don't need to agree with everyone to be a leader. You can disagree in a respectful way. And it's actually when you disagree that you can really show that many times you have enough education and you can come with a point and you can support your point with facts. So don't feel that you always have to say yes because being a leader means that everyone needs to love you. Feel like you always have to be honest. You always have to come up with the truth. You always have to believe in what you are saying. And in order to believe and be an amazing leader, you have to understand the facts behind that belief, and you have to educate yourself and do your job, that is to actually gain the information that you need to support your leadership. Be consistent. Being a leader is not something that happens overnight. Being a leader means like working really hard, probably for so many years till you have the opportunity to actually show your leadership and you gain that amazing opportunity that is gonna finally open that door that you have been waiting for so long. You have to be humble and you have to be patient, because this is not about you. This is about your goal, and this is what you want to see in the community. You have to give and you have to offer and you have to receive at the same time. And something also about leadership is that many times we feel that we are the leaders, we know and we understand what we are missing, but many times we don't understand that being a leader means also to offer things. It means to create the things that we need to see. It means to come with complaints many times, with concerns, but at the same time, it means to come with solutions, and it means to do our job and to believe that everything that we are saying can be taken as a strategy or as a solution or maybe as a first step to make that difference. We have to be open to offer and receive constructive criticism, and it's really hard sometimes to get that criticism, and it's really hard to be able to offer that criticism in a constructive way. So it is something that we need to learn and practice over and over again, because that's the only way that we are going to be able to do that. When you are a leader, it never ends. It's like 24/7. So you are always leading. You are always looking for opportunities. You are always creating. You are always finding new ways to make the difference. You have to always keep working on your leadership skills. And something that I have learned throughout the years is that you grow along with your child. In this case, when you are leading because you have children with special needs, it may happen that your message is going to change. It may happen that you are going to learn new things, and that's going to affect your leadership. So a real leader never stops learning new skills to be a better leader. And one of the good ways to learn to be a better leader is actually taking that constructive criticism and listening to others, so we can become stronger and stronger leaders in a community. I'm gonna take a look at our presentation here to see if we have any comments. We don't. So I'm gonna keep going. Setting the stage for success. Lead with energy. One of the most motivating things, if you think about leaders that you admire, or if you think about one of those times when you went to watch a presentation or a workshop and you came out like so motivated and happy, probably it was because the person that was talking in front of you, she was full or he was full of energy. And that person has the ability to make you believe that you can make the change. Be that leader. And for being that leader, it means that you are going to need to practice. You're going to need to practice your smile. You're going to need to practice the way you communicate. You are going to need to practice the way you talk. You are going to need to gain that energy. Give people a sense of purpose and direction. A leader doesn't talk and talk and talk and talk. A leader actually has a goal. And when you are done talking, or when you are done actually delivering your message, people around you, they are going to feel that they have a direction. They are going to feel that they have received something for you, and now their path is going to be easier, and it's going to let them know how to keep going. Plan for success. To be a leader, you need to have a plan. So what's your plan? You cannot be just a leader because you like to talk in front of other people or because you want to make a change. You need to have a plan. So in order to have that plan, you have to identify what are the things that you want to change, and you have to follow those steps. Again, being a leader means working with other people. It means understanding that there are so many leaders that can work together. So for many of those steps, you cannot do them on your own. So you need to partner with other people so you can complete those steps and you can work together as leaders. Give praise and encouragement. So important that you become that person that can go to other person and say like, you did it amazing. That's an amazing skill. You need to do it again. You need to be in charge of this. A leader can do that. A leader can delegate. A leader can recognize that there are other people that can lead as well, or even better sometimes, because they have the skills to do it. show confidence in people's abilities and showcase them. Again, you have to believe in people, you have to give them the opportunity, and more than giving them the opportunity, I will say you have to encourage them to do it, because you're going to find a lot of families, a lot of parents that they really want to be part of the change, but they are too scared. They feel that their voice is not strong enough. I always tell families, your voice is strong, and every time when you speak, you are making your voice stronger and stronger. And every time when you decide to actually voice your concerns, and when you decide to talk about these things that are so scary for you or so concerning for you, you're opening a new door, and you are gaining the strength to become a leader, and you are going to be a better leader every day. Vision for the future is something that leaders can develop, because many times when you are leading, every time when you do something, every time when you achieve something as an individual for you or your children or your community, don't forget that someone else is looking at you, and someone else is going to believe that they can do it too from wherever they are. Tips for leadership. Eye contact is something that you have to practice. Not everyone has the ability to look at other person and go directly to their eyes, because sometimes it's intimidating. But when you look at people's eyes, you are actually demonstrating them that you are honest, that you are confident. The way you dress, it matters. Still, it matters. Sometimes I feel it should not, but sadly, the way you look is the way you're going to be perceived. So be sure that you dress properly. Shake hands. So important to always, give like a good shake of hands and look at the people in the eye. Introduce yourself, because it happens a lot that people feel like, oh, that person was right in front of me and they didn't even say hi. And I feel so offended because they didn't say hi to me. However, that person doesn't know who you are, and it is your job to be sure that everyone who's around you, they know who you are and they remember who you are. So you're going to constantly be doing that. You're going to be reminding people who you are. You're going to be able to deliver your speech in 30 seconds or less, so people have a clear idea who you are, what you want, what you do in the community. And especially, this is going to be your best way to find allies, and this is going to be your best way to keep opening doors for you and your community. Smile. So important to always smile and have that positive approach. Being a leader, it doesn't mean to be intimidating. You don't need to be intimidating from the bad side or from the bad perspective that you want to be people to be scared of you. You want people to look at you and feel that you have all the willingness to collaborate, that you want to make the difference, that you can remain positive, that you can be that leader that knows how to communicate effectively. Volunteer to speak. Every opportunity can make a difference. So you have to be in your community, you have to talk, you have to find these opportunities to keep spreading the message, because something that we should be doing as parents of children with special needs is to create awareness constantly, because the more that we need in our communities is to normalize disability. We need to keep educating, because as much as there is information online, nothing ever is going to replace your story and your ability to put a face to the numbers, because many times that story is what is going to really make people understand that there are people behind the numbers, and they are going to see your cause from a different light. Tips for leadership. Remain positive, and it's really hard to remain positive when things are not going well. It's really hard to remain positive when you have been attending IEPs over and over and over again and nothing changes. But one of the things that are going to give you the opportunity and the power to remain positive is to actually be the one who has a strategy, the one who comes to the table with specific goals, the one who knows how to follow up. voice your concern along with a solution. So again, it is really easy to see what are the things that are not working in the way we would like them to be working. We know that inclusion is really hard. We know that related services, they don't always work. We know that many times people are not qualified to actually deliver the services that we would like our children to have in order to be successful. However, you need to grow along with your child. Many times you are gonna be the person who knows most and better about any strategy. You need to keep educating yourself. You need to be committed to be the one who can bring that solution that is missing, and you have to be committed to be the one who can actually connect the dots so we can come all to a solution. Don't be afraid. Remind yourself why you are involved and draw from your inner strength. And I have been there many times because I have been honored to speak so many times in front of politicians and very influential people. So I know I understand like day to day how intimidating it is to speak in my second language. And something that I always keep in mind is that I'm doing this for an amazing reason, that is for my children, and it has been through my leadership and through this ability to keep focus on them that I have achieved everything that I have achieved for them. So you have the power inside, so look for that power and always keep in mind that everything that you are doing for your child, and this is the only way in which you are going to be able to change the future of your child for good. If you change nothing, nothing will change. And I love that because it is completely true. You are the only one who can make that change for your child. You may have amazing teachers, you may have an amazing IEP team, you may have amazing professionals around your child. But if you don't take leadership, if you don't lead the change, if you don't lead your child's life, then someone else is going to do it. And never forget that it doesn't matter how much they love your child, no one loves your child as you do. How to deal with anxiety. Probably you have experienced this many times because this is part of living, experiencing anxiety. So be prepared. The more prepared you are, the less anxiety you are going to face. And even if you face anxiety, you have everything that you need inside. So never just show, not knowing what you're going to say. You need to know what you're going to say, and you need to prepare for that. You need to organize your main points, and I always tell families a good way to start when you are trying to become a public speaker or when you are trying to make awareness constantly in your community is to have those main points on paper, in your purse, in your pocket. So when you get the opportunity to speak, you can use those notes and you can actually be sure that you are going to be delivering the right message. Speak from the heart, because we know that there are statistics, we know that there are numbers, but what is going to make the difference for you and your community is having the ability to tell your story from your heart. It's going to be to have the ability to recognize that when we talk about our concerns, when we talk about raising children with special needs, we are not talking about numbers, we are not talking about autistic children, we are not talking about Down's children, we are not talking about disabled. We are talking about children first. We are talking about the students first. We are talking always about the person first. And when we talk about the person, we are actually talking from the heart, because that person has a name. So always keep in mind that, and always use the name of your child. Always. Breathe. When you feel that you are too intimidated or you are having a panic attack, breathe, because it really works. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. Never forget that, because it is completely true. Once you cross that line of fear, you're going to be able to see and achieve so many things. So the dream is at the end of the rainbow, and actually the rainbow is at the other side of fear. We can all be leaders. And again, I'm going to repeat this because many times we feel like, oh my God, that person is so amazing. I love that person. That person is a real leader. Look at her, how she talks, how she communicates. She really knows how to do stuff, or he really knows how to talk, or he's an amazing public speaker. It is completely true, that you may be born with some abilities to be able to communicate, probably in an easier way than other people. But let's don't forget that leaders, they are made, and they are made because they understand that they have to practice. They understand that they have to become these amazing speakers. They do their job. They work tirelessly. They understand that being a leader is a big, big commitment, and they have the passion to fulfill this commitment. So everyone can be a leader. Leadership is vision, and success comes with organization and action. So, as much as you organize, as much as you plan, you have to take action, and you have to make these papers that you write take life. So, you have to take action, and you have to make things happen. Leadership gives power, hope, and commitment to make things happen. And something that I always tell families is like, you have two choices in life. When you have children with special needs, life is not easy. Probably it's not easy for anyone, but especially when you are facing so many things at the same time and you don't know what to do next. You don't know if you are gonna keep with doing therapies, if you wanna increase services, if things are not working. In those times when you are completely lost, you are lost because you have lost the power to control your life and you don't know what to do. So the only way to actually keep going and making good decisions for your child is to regain that power. When you regain that power to make decisions, to try, even though you know and you understand that you may made a mistake, then you are gonna again go back to hope. And you are gonna go back to believe in yourself as a parent. And only when you believe in yourself as a parent, you can pass that self-esteem, and you can pass that confidence to your child, because your child is learning from you every day. Leadership creates the future, is guidance, direction, inspiration, and empowers people to realize their leadership potential. So let's don't forget again that something else that you do as a leader is that every time when you achieve something as an individual and you achieve something for your children, you are achieving that for your community, and you are making a difference in the life of your direct line, your community, your family, but at the same time, you are inspiring others to believe that they can do the same if they follow the right steps. And being a leader is also being humble, because you understand that what are you doing? Anyone can do it too if they are committed again to follow the right steps and to understand and to recognize the power and the vision of a leader. These are some resources that actually you can access so you can learn more on resources on leadership. Please visit our F&D University. We have tons of workshops and many information that you can access for free. You can go to fnduniversity.org to get this information. All our information is completely bilingual, completely free. This is an accredited university. However, this is amazing information. And as I was saying from the very beginning, in order to be a leader, you have to have the right education, and you have to do your homework so your child can do his or her homework too, because you are the one who's gonna lead his or her way to the future, and you are the only one who can change the future for your child and assure him or her that he or she is gonna be successful. You can only do that with the right education and making the right decisions. Thank you so much for being with us today. We really appreciate your time, and we are gonna be back with you soon. Have an amazing day.